Hi. Yeah. Hello, my name is Lauren Hancock. I'm covering Campus Community and Communication Pillar 1, Part A. So the primary power group in Del Valley is Del Valley School District. So the campuses themselves, and I believe they can be identified as amorphous. The school itself brings people to the area and creates jobs. The source of power at Del Valley ISD is the head principal and their parent communications liaison, or PCL, who communicates with the head principal and creates meetings with the community members so that there's always a connection to receive information from school to home. So a large part of what we believe, I've spoken to my site supervisor about Del Valley, is there's just nothing close enough to the school itself to create a really strong sense of community and have resources for our low socioeconomic students, our disadvantaged students to be a part of. So I believe what's happening there, families are spread out. Parents are working two jobs, late night jobs, multiple jobs, and they are not home. So students are going home and taking care of brothers and sisters and cousins, and there's a lack of community just because that's the population that is in the district. In that case too, Del Valley is a developing town, so the group is young in its power level. Since it's one of the only sources of business in Del Valley itself, pretty much the only thing that brings people to Del Valley ISD, since they're the primary power group, is the school. The surrounding area is lacking in business and industry. Exercise of power. The head principal exercises power, takes a listening approach with the community meetings, and receives input from parents, families, and guardians, and other community members. The liaison creates meeting, um, is the head of those meetings, and handles all communications and their structure and the plan between the school, head principal, and the community at large. So my site supervisor broke it down for me that the basic structure at Del Valley at the high school campus or the district itself is the head principal and the liaison are the two important pieces that connect to the community. And I'm sure that with time, that may change as larger influential donors and influential people in the town, eventually move to that area or want to donate and be involved in that community. So the powerless groups, a lot of this was the things that I could see being potential powerless groups. They may not necessarily be in theory, but I do believe that the powerless groups include, possibly news people, simply because the town itself is small and spread out, creates a lack of safety, a connection to students and parents of Del Valley, since they all live far from their homes and must travel. Secondly, influential people may exist in the community, but other than that, school employees, my principal did not identify them or mention them as power groups. Unfortunately, without influential people, there are less opportunities for donations to the school for programs or other financial support. I'm sure that right now, the primary power group, since it's Del Valley, that the influential people are the administrators, and probably the superintendent. I'd say just the district at large are the influential people at this moment. I believe commercial and private industry, including land developers, are somewhat powerless. The effect of lack of industry and business is a halt for the school to grow. Industry creates job, education opportunities, and incentives to grow the town. So a lot of my students are career and technical education students, and they are in the culinary arts industry. So I can't even have like a co-op type style with them. They are kind of they can't really have jobs and stuff at 15 and 16 or 17, 18. They're having to go down to downtown Austin or central Austin to get a job. So I'm recording something. Hi. It's a, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're good. Lastly, since there are no churches near the school town where students attend, because those students, like I said, live on the outskirts of Del Valley and Austin, so they are not members of those churches. That's why I believe them to be a powerless group. I believe without other positive groups like church or after school programs, it was difficult to show students other adults in their life with strong character, morals, and values. The parent population at Del Valley is economically disadvantaged and typically work long hours, far past when students get home from school. And like I said earlier, they are also at home taking care of brothers and sisters and other family members. Some parents work night shifts, have two jobs, or arrive home at odd hours, leaving students at home for long periods of time unsupervised. If another entity like religious groups or churches were a part of the power group, I think our students would behave differently socially and academically. So I do think that's a big problem at our school. Like I mentioned, students are traveling pretty far on the bus. They haven't eaten since lunch. I hear that complaint a lot, but there's no place for them to go after school. Maybe the ones that don't have to go home and take care of family members, but that want to put their academic career or success first. It just doesn't exist for them. So it would be wonderful, if we could get those things into the town. And I think our student culture in general would change, and I believe student behaviors would change. Comfort level with power structures. So as a school employee, I would not say I'm uncomfortable with the power structure. I just don't agree with it. Although I believe our students are at a disadvantage without the influence of other powerless groups like church, industry, and business to create a stable and positive environment. There are no churches, after school programs, or places for students to go. The majority of our students get on a bus and ride home for an hour. Once our students at home, I think most of them are working late, sometimes home alone without supervision, and I think that leads to bad decision making and poor time management skills. I think that are indirectly being taught to those students in particular. Um, again, putting, I guess, some type of program in place. I talked with Mr. Tate about that today. He's already gotten apparently a lot of staff feedback and student feedback on, all they do. There's nothing else to do except fight, right? They come to school. That's the reason they're there. Let's create some drama. Let's create some, all that's left there is like fear, right? They're just acting out because they're scared and bored. But if students have a place to funnel their energy and their time, then you're going to see better behavior. And that is the end of my PowerPoint. Thank you very much.